Hello and welcome to Impact Africa, our online talk show where we celebrate and have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives and communities positively. In addition, we highlight and celebrate events, places, and positive news. My name is Dr. Kemi Akiode Adebayo, known as Mama K, and in today's program, we will be celebrating people and places. And we are meeting up with the Releaf founders. So this is the Releaf founders meetup. There's two amazing young men who are doing so much for Africa. So we are featuring Uzoma Ayogu, co-founder and CTO of Releaf, and Ikenna Nzewi, co-founder and CEO of Releaf. So I was asking them about some of the challenges they have faced, and how they've managed them. And as well, we're just going to let you see some of their work and what they do. Enjoy. Okay, this is Mama K. We had a false start earlier on. The phone was going off. NEPA was doing its thing. And it's all good. It's all good. So I've got these two young men. I'm in Lagos, Ikoyi to be precise, with these two young, handsome, amazing, intelligent men. I could go on. And they're going to tell us about, their organizations, which they're doing a lot in. So tell us who you are and your position with the organization.
Uzoma Ayogu, I'm the CTO and co-founder of Releaf. Great to be with you here this afternoon.
Hi, I'm Ikenna Nzewi, co-founder and CEO of Releaf. And Releaf is a supply chain technology company. We help fast-moving consumer good manufacturers get the ingredients that their factories need to run. So we started in Nigeria's vegetable oil industry. Uzo invented a patented nutcracker called Kraken, and we use it to process oil palm nuts into vegetable oil and then supply it to these big manufacturers.
Wow. So what are some of the challenges that Releaf has had so far, and how have you managed to address them?
We work with about 2,000 smallholder farmers. And
2,000? Wow.
And mostly in the South region, Cross River, Akwa Ibom. And just dealing with farmers, you have to get to understand their psychology. So being able to, have them begin buying by weight, begin to get them, some of them, moving them to digital transactions, even build products for them like loans and health insurance. But at first, those things are new to a lot of the people you work with. But what we found is that it's not about the technology, it's about the trust. So when you're consistent and you do what you say you'll do, and you show people that you're showing up week after week and you're actually interested in something more than just their crop, you build that trust.
Wow. So for you as well, in terms of what are you mostly proud of? Maybe I want to hear for you what you've achieved in the last, when was Releaf started?
So Uzo and I got the business started as a for-profit in 2017. We finished 2017, yeah. Okay. And we finished university that year as well.
Are you schoolmates? Did you go to uni together?
So we didn't go to school together.
Let's hear that.
So Uzo went to Duke, I went to Yale, and we were both.
Oh, really? I told you, the intelligent boys, Yale, Duke. Okay.
So we were in this career preparation program, and Uzo and I were matched on the same team to do a case study. And I was really impressed with the way that Uzo led the team.
I was impressed by the way he did no work. But then he's the one who presented, and then we won.
Oh,
so, he's very quick on his feet.
Okay.
So Uzo brought the people together to get the work done, and I was able to distill a lot of the key insights. And we won the case study. And I said, wow, this could be a great working relationship. And so we started Releaf together. I would say the thing I'm most proud of is the people that we employ. We don't call the people that work with us employees. We call them citizens. And our focus at Releaf...
I've had that one before.
Yeah, citizens.
Okay.
And our focus is on reframing the way in which organizations treat their stakeholders and working in the interest of the people that are working with us in our business. So
I'm looking at this now. Duke, Yale, this is in USA. How did you both, I know you're both Nigerian,
Okay, we're back. We're
Okay,
back.
we're back on. Yeah, I told you, network and so on. This is Nigeria, but we're going right. So how did you do that?
So, I mean, at first we weren't supposed to, for sure. Our parents were not on board with us
I
moving
remember
back.
that with him. Come and talk to him.
What is he thinking?
What is he
How could you
thinking?
dare call me?
So yeah, so there was definitely that aspect of things. For me at least, I had never been to Nigeria in my entire life.
You had never
I'd
been?
never been. Yeah, so
At least, but you had, but you were young.
yeah.
Were you never
Yeah.
been?
So our mentor paid for a trip for us to come back to Nigeria for the first time.
Okay.
And during that trip, I decided that I wanted to spend my career building things in
At
Africa.
that time?
Yeah, and at that time.
What
So,
did
yeah.
you see?
There was a sunset. We were in Ibadan at an agricultural research center called IITA, and the staff will very often take sunset walks together. And we took one of those walks, and during the sunset, I just felt that I was in the right place and that this is where I needed to be building. And so,
All it took was a sunset in Ibadan. Did you hear that? The sunset in Ibadan. Don't underestimate what how Nigeria can capture you.
amen.
Wow. So for you, what are you mostly proud of?
So I think similar to Kenna talked about the people we work with and we employ. I think a lot of it is actually around the people that trust us and what we're trying to build, because building a startup is risky.
Yes.
And so there are other opportunities that very talented people could pursue, but they decide to work on us with the mission we're trying to build here. And we very much feel that we kind of owe it to them, and obviously what we're trying to build on our customers to deliver. So I'm really proud of the caliber of team we've been able to,
And what
to get
vision
together.
do you have for the future? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get the same answer. You're gonna get the same answer. Yeah, I mean, our focus is to industrialize Africa,
Right.
starting with food processing. But where population is trending, Africa will be 40% of the world's population by the time Uzo and I are old men. This will be the most populous region in the world, and Africa needs to be industrialized to take its rightful place at the table.
Amen.
Wow. For the young ones out there, I'm going to just round up now just to say, do you have any special message for the young ones who are saying, well, maybe they had it easy, Yale, Duke, American, and so on. What message would you share with them? Because obviously you're very hands-on, with what you're doing now. What message would you share with the young ones out there?
Yeah,
Just to give them hope.
Yeah, my message would be to go see the land, like come and see Nigeria, come and see Africa, and develop your own perspective on it. There could have been a million reasons why I decided to stay in America and never came here. And while I have a lot of things that have privileged me, there's always going to be something that prevents you from doing the things in life you should. So everyone has to kind of get up and get after stuff, regardless.
It was. Okay. Yeah, I think if you're already on ground, think of like the period at which China or even America in like the 40s, 50s, 60s was beginning to take off, and a lot of people who were on the ground floor during that period ended up doing very well and being very influential in the future of their nations. And so I think reframing the opportunity we have to really build and do things that you could never do in other places you can do here is kind of the mindset that people can have when they look at their problems and things around them. And so finding other people who are problem solvers, it's fine to be good at identifying problems, but it's much better to be focused on solving them. And so not having a mindset of this is so bad, but I can recognize this is so bad and here's what I can do and who I need to get to know to progress.
All right. Okay, well, that's all we've got time for on People and Places right here in Lagos, Ikoyi. And with this amazing two young men. So what are your social handles?
So you can find us at Releaf Africa on Instagram, and Releaf Africa on Twitter as well.
You need to check them out. And we need to support them because they're just doing amazing work. Give them words of encouragement as well, or just, I don't know, just say hi. I don't know whether they will answer you back. They're very busy people. They say so. So, shout out to everybody out there, all the way from Lagos. Say relief.
Really?
Peace out. Issue that, social issues or anything out there that you're passionate about, and that you can tell us what you feel could be solutions to them. So, because I know in Africa, unemployment is rife, poverty, there's a lot of issues, that you're already solving one of the problems anyway through Relief. But is there anything you're passionate, about, that not talk about the problem, but like you said earlier on, solutions that you can say, these are the solutions for it?
Yeah, I think something I've seen is more of a matter problem, but it's mindset.
Okay.
Having a growth mindset, so believing that you are not fixed with whatever capabilities or capacities you have, and that you have the ability to learn and solve problems and make a difference. And some of the solutions I've seen, there's a very cool company called ScholarX, and the founder Bola created this thing called Lenam.
Okay.
And it's it's in Pidgin, it's in Hausa, it's in Igbo, it's Yoruba, and it's a platform where it's teaching very specific tips and tools on, let's say you're a plumber, and typically the only way you get work is people will refer you, but you learn how to just make an Instagram account, and then so it teaches people very practical things. And once someone says, wow, I can acquire some knowledge and apply it and improve my life, it creates a flywheel that people can continue doing it, because we have too much consumption mindset, especially in Nigeria. And so if you can change your mindset into a production mindset, it will make such a big difference, because at the end of the day, what makes countries wealthy is it's knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge is the driver. So I think mindset is something I'm very passionate about. The reason I didn't say education is it doesn't have to be in the traditional sense of education. And then I think policy too, in the long term, is very important. And solutions around policy and leadership, etc. I think it has to do with how do you take people that have a different view of the world, who don't have maybe the incentives that some of our leaders have today, and get those people with capital, both financial and social, to be able to plot a new chart a new path for the respective countries or communities they're in. And so I think I'm very passionate about, there's a lot of programs to do leadership development, etc. But how do you get those people in those positions? And then how do you build enough people at one time to actually make a large difference? Because, policy, and there's been a lot of policy failures across the years. Yeah.
And trust.
Yeah, we chose Palm because of first principles. So when we moved back to Nigeria in 2017, we traveled all over the country. I've been to over 20 states. And so what it looked like was going to Ojota, getting in a bus and traveling all over the country, following value chains from smallholder farmers all the way to consumer markets like Mile 12, and basically figuring out where there were opportunities to create technology that could create more prosperity for all the value chain players. It's difficult, I would say, between production and post-harvest handling. So from a production standpoint, if you look at oil palm, our yields per hectare are, in some cases, a fifth of what they are in other countries. But then you can also see and observe a great deal of post-harvest loss. And so there are kind of two ways to attack the problem. You can either produce more and continue to waste a high percentage, or produce the same amount and reduce the wastage. And so what our company focuses on is making as much value from what we have today, and then gaining the resources so that we can make long-term investments to increase production and the productivity per hectare in the future. Yeah, so we consider ourselves pre-processors. So we work in between smallholder farmers and large industrial processors of food commodities. And so what we do is we work with the smallholders, we handle the last mile logistics, and then we add value to the commodities so that they're high quality.
So when an African food factory receives these raw materials, they're able to process them and get the profit that they expected out of it. We have a really big issue in Africa around industrialization, and that industrialization is difficult because it's very hard to get high quality raw materials into a factory's door. And if you have low quality inputs, you will have low quality outputs and profit. And so where our company tries to work is basically lubricating that link between smallholder farmers and the food factories so that we're able to add more value to our commodities within the country rather than exporting them and having others add that value to them. Yeah, definitely. So there are hardware and software sides of our business. So one of our greatest observations after moving back to Nigeria and traveling throughout the country was that ag tech companies need to be involved in the value chain. We need to pick up a bag of a commodity. We need to move, we need to be actors in the value chain. And so developing hardware and operating proprietary technology that increases our processing yields is how we are a player in the market that has an advantage. But beyond that, in order to secure the raw material that we need from smallholders at an affordable price, you also have to use software so that you're able to communicate. Because you have to understand these smallholders are incredibly decentralized. The average plot sizes are small. And so technology, especially digital technology, is very helpful in driving efficiencies and gathering data so that you can optimize how you acquire raw materials from these farmers. So you start and you become an actor in the value chain through hardware. You need to do something in the value chain. You can't just be a professional service firm kind of standing back, telling people what to do. You need to be in the value chain. You need to be doing something tangible that adds value to the commodities. But beyond that, you can use technology to drive economies of scale, to have more predictability around price, volume, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's been a real balance for our business. And I would say in the past, we've really focused very deeply on the hardware part, developing a proprietary piece of technology that we're currently patenting. But now we're shifting into the process of doubling down on the software side of our business so that we can drive the volumes of inputs into that piece of hardware. Because the way I like to put it is, a factory that doesn't have raw material isn't a factory, it's just a building, it's a warehouse. And so you have to be able to acquire the raw material, but you need to have machines that can add value to them as well. Yeah, well, I think the first step is to form a relationship. You're working with a person, they haven't worked with you before, and you are oftentimes encouraging them to do business in a different way than they've done it in the past. And something incumbent in that change of behavior is trust. And so the first step is to form trust with folks. Now, once that trust is there, the second step is to engage people as close to the way they've been engaged in the past. So, farmers have phones, they have feature phones, they receive SMS text messages. So if you're trying to communicate with your smallholders, don't go and build an app, just send them text messages. Utilize USSD technology. Now on the back end, when you're trying to coordinate your own team, you can develop a lot of interesting technology and dashboards and things like that. And so it's really important to think about the user experience for even our internal team and the tools that they need to be successful, but also the ease of accessibility for the smallholders that we work with, and so using technologies like SMS and USSD. Yeah, so it's a really simple process. We buy palm nuts from smallholder farmers. We take them to our pre-processing center, we crack them open, and then we sell the kernels that are within those nuts to food factories. That's how we make money. No, we use our software internally. I think the market for software for factories in Nigeria is still nascent. And I think many of the large factories, the big FMCGs and players of that sort, are operating on more legacy software suites like SAP and things of that nature. And so we build these tools for ourselves internally, and we look forward to the point in the future where there's a commercial opportunity to license and sell them to others. But we're really focused on making our process of buying nuts, cracking them, and selling them to factories as efficient and as high volume as possible. Yeah, so I mean, the fundraising journey is a journey, and I think you learn a lot about your business and about the perception of your traction as a result of fundraising. We've definitely had our successes at times and other times where we had to go back to the drawing board and think about the next steps. But yeah, we're happy with where we are, and we're really excited to be focused on the operating side of the business at this point, and pushing to further and further scale. Yeah, I think it's really just around finding a business model that is truly scalable, and one that you can make money with today. And I think we as a company spent a good bit of time in that process of just trying different business models, seeing how they worked, how they didn't work, if they were truly scalable, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think the process of finding product market fit was something that took our company some time. I would also say that developing proprietary hardware in Nigeria is a journey, and hopefully a journey that will be easier for others after we have done our part. But it's very difficult. If I want to bring in some technology, I have to pay for it, wait 3 months for fabrication, then someone puts it on the water for 3 months, it's held at Apapa for a month, I bring it down on ground, and maybe 2 months later I've commissioned it. And so when I'm planning out my capital, I have to be thinking about, a lead time on a decision of 8 months for hardware that I'm bringing in. And if I'm in the process of research and development, when I don't know which technology is the right one, it's a very difficult thing to solve for with the other priorities that you have within the business. But it's part of the process, and I think it's what needs to be done. I mean, other countries have developed their food systems by doing research and development. And so while there's a lot of great stuff that we can import, we as Africans also need to embrace the responsibility of developing technology to industrialize our food systems. And we're happy to take on that challenge. Yeah, so I mean, oil palm is a very big market. We're sitting in a $3 billion vegetable oil market here in Nigeria, and so it's a large opportunity. And 80% of that market is driven by smallholders, which we target. And so we see Nigeria as a really great starting beachhead market. But beyond Nigeria, I think we think about West Africa at large as an opportunity, where you have smallholder-driven oil palm production, you have a lack of technology to handle this palm nut cracking process. And so we see geographic expansion as kind of a first step. One thing that's very natural is we're kind of on the eastern side of Nigeria, and so moving into Western Cameroon would be rather natural, and then also looking at the southwest in Nigeria.
Wow. Uzo Anikene, I salute you. Over 2,000 farmers that you work with and doing amazing work in the agri-tech industry, and still so much, that you're planning on doing and already doing. So many awards, so many lives impacted. Thank you for what you do. And I can't wait to continue to follow your story. And we will be coming back to just hear more from you and where you are and what else, you've managed to achieve, because there's so much you have in there and so much you're given already. Thank you for impacting lives positively in Nigeria and across Africa and around the world, because this ripples out beyond Africa, believe me. And I hope our young people, you've been inspired and encouraged, by those conversations and some of what they shared there. If they can do it, you too can do it. And that's all we've got time for today. But we will be sharing the details. If you want to know more about what Releaf does, just check the details afterwards. Support them, network with them, collaborate with them, learn from them, and you'll be amazed at what you can benefit yourself. Okay, that's all we've got time for today. It's Mama K signing off, saying stay safe, stay blessed. Love you. God is love.